Hey guys, Tisha here, and I'm honestly coming to you about something that I had no intention to talk about. Therefore, I have no notes on it, but several things were sent to me via DM on my Twitter. I didn't even know that you guys knew my Twitter about the situation, and as a result, I'm going to talk about it. I want to make it abundantly clear that although I may be saying allegedly or claims, that I very much so believe the victim in this situation. I very much so believe that she suffered DV from her child's father. If you don't know yet, I'm talking about Keke Palmer. So I'm going to be reading an article from NBC. I saw some pictures of some stuff that happened. I saw a lot of comments and I said, okay, I can't use this, but let me use this article from NBC and we'll just talk and go about it together. I have not read its entirety, so you are legitimately getting my honest reaction while we read this together. So, Keke Palmer accuses her ex-boyfriend Darius Jackson of abuse. Judge grants temporary restraining order. Court documents detail multiple times that Palmer alleges she was physically attacked by Jackson. She said she also suffered emotional abuse and accused him of love bombing her. This article was written on November 10th by a Diane Darsrath and Burke. I don't want to butcher that first name, so I'm not going to even try to say it. Keke Palmer accuses her ex-boyfriend Darius of physical and emotional abuse, writing in court documentation that he has repeatedly attacked her, trespassed at her home, and became very frustrated with their 8-month-old son. In her request for a temporary restraining order against Jackson, filed on Thursday, she asked for temporarily to be granted sole custody of their son, Leo, with no visitation from his father. Keke, whose real name is Lauren, said the abuses happened throughout her 2-year relationship with Jackson and did not stop after their breakup in early October. She wrote that since the split, he is even more unhinged, volatile, and dangerous, and she fears for her and their son's safety. Now, let me tell you something. One thing about abusive relationships is that they say statistically that the worst time for someone who is leaving an abusive situation is that first initial stuff that happens after they leave. I saw I saw pictures from the video where this man was hovering over her, had his hand like on top of her, like he was pulling something, which based on what was written in the court stuff, it seems like he was grabbing at her phone, as well as looking like he had his hand in other images around her neck. So he has done stuff to her, even though we're going to say it's alleged, all right? Keke goes on to say, it's because of our son Leo that I was finally able to end my relationship with Darius once and for all and escape the abuse. Palmer wrote in the court documents, Leo is the most important thing in the entire world to me. He needs and deserves to be safe and grow up in an environment free from violence. Both Palmer and Jackson declined to comment when they were contacted by the news, but they did see NBC the court documents. After the documents were filed, as a further insult basically to Keke, Jackson posted a photo showing him holding their son, and it said, "I love you, son. See you soon." Now, why would you even write something like that when the child is 8 months? He can't see it. He don't know anything about it. The petition detailed multiple times where Keke allegedly said that she was physically attacked by Jackson. She said she suffered from emotional abuse as well. She said Darius would love bomb me and make me feel like I was the most important woman in the world, only to get extremely distant and cold over a perceived insult to him. If we were at a party or event and I spoke with one person for too long or looked at someone a certain way, he would storm off in a rage, telling me I was a slut and a whore, accusing me of cheating on him and that I did not love him, she wrote. Darius had a way of gaslighting me to make me feel like I was doing something wrong, even though I wasn't. See, sometimes we got to see the signs, okay? And I want to be a little transparent in this without giving too much of my business, but I've been there before. And for me, when I saw him post what he posted back in July or June, it was summertime, where Keke was at an event and she had on a sheer outfit with a bodysuit underneath where you can see, her shape, her butt might have been out a little bit. Rather than addressing her, he publicly shamed her on the internet for being too close to Usher and saying, "You're a mother." This man was exhibiting signs of being abusive, but I think Keke did what a lot of people do, and she made excuses for him, and she allowed it because she felt like maybe he would change, all right? So now we're going to talk about one of the alleged attacks, which is filmed, which she has pictures of that have been included in the documentation. And he's clearly in this image that I'm seeing. She's at the bottom of the stairs. She's on the floor and he's over top of her without a shirt on, holding her down. All right. This is what we're told. During one alleged altercation on February 13th, 2022. So that means at this time, this was before she had her son, because she didn't have her son until February 2023. So over a year ago in this picture, this image was taken on 2/3/22 at 6:35 in the morning. So he was beating up on her all time of day. On February 13th, 2022, Palmer said that Darius choked me and body slammed me onto the stairs in my home after he became jealous of me for showing him a photo of myself in a bikini. Palmer said that they were attending a friend's party and she showed him a picture of her in the bikini because she was proud of her weight loss results, as any person would do. Palmer said Jackson was so upset about the picture that she became worried about what would happen once she got into the car and they drove back home. She alleged that when they got home, he slammed her on the floor in their room and slapped her in her head from side to side. She said the image that we're seeing, the one where I told you she's on the stairs and he's hovering over her, she got that from her security camera. Because the next morning, even though he did what he did when she first got home and he kept her up all night, according to what I read from another article, he kept her up all night, yelling and fussing at her, not allowing her to get some sleep. That the next morning, he grabbed her by the neck and body slammed her on the stairs. She also says that he would destroy her property, like a private journal that she had been keeping since she was 12, as a way to punish her. Let me tell you all something. That is like the deepest form of emotional abuse. I remember when I was dating someone and he got mad at me because I stayed out too long, I came home too late, and I guess he wanted to punish me. So what he did was, I had this really big teddy bear, oversized, white, like had to be over 5 feet because it was bigger than me. And he took the teddy bear. Oh, let me add, my father gave me that teddy bear when I was young. I think I had to be like 6 or 7 when he gave it to me. And here I am with my teddy bear in adulthood, thinking that I'm doing something. Not only that, the teddy bear had my great grandmother who's passed, Moo Moo on it. And I came home from being out with friends, not doing anything crazy, and the teddy bear was in front of the door of my home and it was lit on fire. So when I read about him taking journals that she read and that she wrote as a 12-year-old, knowing how much she connected to that, knowing what she could have even done with that. She might have used it for inspiration. She might have went back and eventually written some type of memoir. Like, there's so many things that she might have had ideas and desires in that journal, manifestations. And to punish her, he destroyed it. During another altercation that was alleged to happen in April 2022, so that's 2 months after her being thrown on the stairs, she said Jackson grabbed her eyeglasses from her, threw them on the ground, and stomped on them because he thought that she was flirting with a girl at the restaurant, even though she told him that she wasn't. He then opened her bag, dumping all of her belongings on the ground in the rain, and tossed her car keys along the parking lot, according to the petition. Jackson said that, Keke said, which is Palmer, that he got into his own car and left. So she said that she had to put her glasses back together as best as she could so she can see to drive and pick up her now dirty, wet clothes and other belongings and rummage in the bushes across the parking lot to find her keys before I could leave. So he got mad. I believe Keke is pansexual. So Keke, I don't know her, but she comes across to be a very happy, a very bubbly spirit. And he assumed that because she was being too friendly that she was flirting with the waitress. In the part that I read in another article, they were out of town, what is said to be 2 hours from where she resided. And they were supposed to be staying in a hotel where they were. And because he got upset and said he wanted to go home, she left the hotel with him to get in her vehicle to head home. And he knew that she needed her glasses. And that's what he did. You see, the guys that do this are insecure and they have problems. And they have this way of seeking out individuals and finding those areas where they are broken, where there are cracks, and they nestle their way in there and they take advantage of it. Please understand that if they do it once, they'll do it again and again and again. Do not allow allowance to anyone to abuse you emotionally or physically. There's no excuse for either thing. And I need for that to be reiterated. We then hear about the most recent abuse allegation, which I'm going to assume this is what was like, okay, this is it. Because if this had been going on as far back as 2000 and what did I say? 22, February of 2022, That's over a year that this has been going on. So she, at this point, has given him chances, has not ever filed any type of reports, hasn't done anything to protect herself, really. And he still continues to take advantage of it. So let me scroll back to April. No, I read April. Okay, to November 5th. After their most recent breakup, which we heard earlier in the article was in October, according to documentation, Palmer said she was at her home talking on the phone with her mother when she was startled. Now keep this in mind. She's in her home on the phone talking to her mom, and she's startled because she sees this man, her son's father, bursting through her bedroom doors, even though they are not living together and she did not give him permission to come over. Now, of course, this gives me questions. Did he have a key? Did he bust in the house? Either way, she was unaware that he was coming. According to the petition, Jackson, who is the father, was filming Keke while she was on the cell phone and demanding to see their son. Palmer, who's Keke, wrote that she asked him to leave, but he refused to do so. She states in the petition, I tried to remain calm, but again, I was asking him to leave. He stood up. Okay, wait, we're skipping a part. He refused to do so. So in the petition, the article's leaving it out, but in the petition, she said that she kept asking him to leave. She kept asking him to leave, and he started walking out. So she thought that he was leaving. So she followed behind him to make sure that she was leaving. So as she gets downstairs and she's telling him to leave, he's sitting down on one of her couches, making himself comfortable. So she's like, I'm trying to remain calm. I'm asking him again to leave, and I see him stand up, and he walks towards me. She, when he was originally sitting down, was standing so that there was a couch in between the two of them. But he got up from where he was sitting and made sure that that couch was no longer in between them, because she said he made sure there was no furniture in between us. He was yelling and leaning into her, but getting into her face. At that point, he lunged at her, grabbed her face and her neck, knocked her backwards over the couch, stole her phone out of her hands, and ran outside the house, she wrote. So you bust up in this house, in this woman in her room, unexpected. She comes downstairs to try to help escort you out her home, tells you in the thing, because she said in the petition too that she was going to call 911, which is part of the reason why he probably wanted to yank the phone. And in the video image, she does not have on any underwear, because she has on what looks like a shirt and there's a black blur over the lower part of her body. So I'm assuming that she doesn't have on any underwear. And you're yoking her up and you're choking her, and it looks like she's about to be slammed into her couch. And the couch is slid. It's not straight. It's at a diagonal. So there was some type of momentum or something going on based on the picture that I'm looking at. So you slam her down in her own home. Palmer then said that he attempted to leave and drive away, but I guess she got out in time and blocked the exit with garbage cans. He allegedly almost hit her with his car. Police were called following the altercation. They came there. As a result, they were interviewing her sister, who was in the home and came down when she heard her Keke screaming. And after interviewing them all, rather than arresting him or anything like that, they warned him, which I don't understand how that works, but they warned him, told him to leave and not to come back. The officers encouraged her to file for a domestic violence restraining order, she wrote. Several of the alleged incidents were witnessed by her parents, her sisters, and friends, according to the petition. So he didn't have a problem busting up in that house looking for his son, because that's what in the petition it said. That I'm realizing this article left a lot of stuff out. I probably should have read a different article. But in the petition it said that he said he wanted his son, but she was like, he's not here, he's at her brother-in-law's house, and he wanted to take him to a football game, and she's like, we didn't discuss any of that. But the fact that he has been doing this in front of her friends and family is concerning to me, and it just shows how dangerous he is. If you're bold enough to do that in front of her parents, then you have nothing to lose. Palmer says that her and Jackson will go to couples therapy, and for a little bit of time, things would get better, but then they would get bad again. That's because he has the problem. It's not you, hon. That's why. One feud became public in July. That's the one that I was talking about, where he shamed her for being at Usher's Las Vegas residency. It's the outfit, though. I'm skipping all that other stuff from the bodysuit and all that. It's the outfit, though. You a mom. Palmer later appeared in a music video for Usher's song Boyfriend, sparking rumors that they had split up. But if you really paid attention to the song and the dance and stuff, it wasn't that she split up. She was acting like Usher. She was dancing like Usher. She was dressed like Usher. The petition also detailed times when Jackson would allegedly become frustrated with their son and call her names while talking to the baby. During an incident on September 26, I'm assuming that's this year, Jackson allegedly started getting rough with Leo physically while he was changing his diaper. Palmer said she had to step in to make sure Darius would not hurt him, and it almost became a tug of war with Leo as she attempted to take the baby from him. Darius finally let go, and Leo was not harmed. She said, but as I was holding Leo, trying to comfort him and finish changing his diaper, that Darius hit me in the head before storming out of the room, she wrote. The actor says she filed for petition without telling Jackson, writing that she fears for her and Leo's safety. I am fearful of what retaliatory actions Darius may take against me, including harming or taking our son away, if I give him notice of my request for protection, she wrote. A hearing case is scheduled for December 5th. Now, one of the reasons why I'm reporting on this is because there's a lot of blame going on directing towards Keke, because Keke stayed, because Keke had a baby with him, because Keke was being abused before she even went that route. And I'm going to say this, show a little grace, because you never know what people are really going through. Would I have gone as far as Keke to have a child with that person? I would hope not, but I cannot say, because that was not my situation. And I feel like her already being a person who likes to be private, her already saying that she's someone who rather discuss the things that are going on in the closet than come out on public and have it put out and in the open, that this has got to be another level of humiliation for her. Because not only now does everyone know the inner workings of your relationship and how you were being abused, but now you're being ridiculed and judged. And now, unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with this individual for the remainder of your child's younger years, because this isn't going to be the end of it. She got this temporary one, but there's no guarantee what's going to happen, especially with her being in California, where for most of what I'm understanding is a 50-50 custody situation. So even if you don't have to be around him, he still may be granted, the ability to see your son. Now, is it going to happen right away? No. But we've seen instances where, unfortunately, abusers were still given access to the children. Hopefully, because she is a celebrity and she does have money, she will be able to get the right representation to ensure the safety of her child. If I was Keke, I would move. I would no longer live in that home. I don't know how he got in that home, but the fact that he was able to so easily get in there, I would relocate. I think they all need help. Even her mother had went on Instagram because she got upset that his brother posted something basically talking about how wrong the abuse is and all this other stuff. And she was like, what do you mean? You're the same person that I came to over a year ago letting you know that your little brother was abusing my daughter and you dismissed it. And then seeing Keke say that her parents were aware, it's now opening a door for her parents to also be attacked and ridiculed for not stepping in. You can only do what you're allowed to do. And I feel like maybe her parents wanted to step in more, but maybe they couldn't because of the simple fact that they didn't want to risk losing their daughter. And they could have lost their daughter in many ways. But I think that they knew that if they pushed it too far, she would move closer to him or they would risk being cut out. Do I agree with it? No. If the situation were reversed and it was my child, because I have a 16-year-old, and something like that was happening to him, we'd be showing up in full force at that door. But a lot of times, you just don't know. And even with her parents seeing different instances, we don't know if they saw the physical abuse. We don't know if what they saw was the emotional abuse. And we don't know if she just, wrote it off as he's just mad. You never know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Until next time. All right, y'all. Me and this clicker. It just won't let me be great. It just won't. If you're a regular, you know the deal. We fight. Until next time.